Hi everyone. So today I want to share a fun new die set, and mine is a mess here. It's called Give It a Whirl, and it's really fun, and I came up with so many ideas, so I'm going to do a series of videos on it because there's just too much to show in one, and it's just a really fun die set, and I'm using it at Stamp Camp this weekend, and so I'm playing around with it this week, kind of trying all different ways to use it so that I can pick one of the ideas and do it at Stamp Camp. So that's what I'm working on, and if somebody, another demonstrator, is watching this and you took a photo of what this was supposed to look like, I don't know how it fits back onto these two sheets. Shoot me a photo because that would be great. I have no idea. Okay, some people say, you know, outline them with a pen so you know exactly where to put them back, and then you don't. Then you know for sure you're not missing one too, because like what if there's another heart or something? I don't know. Anyway, I've got quite a mess here. I've used, I think, every die except this one, so I know that one was right there. Okay, so actually I didn't use the clouds yet either. All right, so anyway, it's a really fun die, and it's so easy to miss. And our CEO, Sarah Douglas, shared a Facebook Live with it, and I had seen it already, but a lot of my customers hadn't because it's just such an easy thing to miss in the catalog. They show it. I'm going to find it real quick. Suppose I should have looked at what page it was on before doing this. All right, that's what we're going to do. Okay, they show it here with a space set. So if you're a person who doesn't maybe have any small children that you make cards for, or you're not into space, you would not notice it at all, because here it is in use on this stamp set, but it is not part of this stamp set. It is not sold in a bundle like a lot of our other stamps are. It's just mentioned here. They kind of just tell you about it, but you have to find it in the back. So it's in this little back section here. Give it a whirl, and it's so fun, super great. It really needs its own page. So anyway, there's a lot of dies that are only in the back. So I encourage you to take a look. Here's one here, Basic Borders. This is a great one. I've used it a few times. Layering Diorama, also a great one. Iconic dies. There are quite a few. And the Picture This, those are the ones. Oh, and Picture This, I did a video on that one. And also tailor-made tags. There. Those are the ones that don't have stamp sets. And so I don't want you to miss out on them because they're not part of a bundle. They're not in the catalog. I mean, they're just shown in use, but you could easily miss out. And so let's get into here. I'm going to show you that diorama one real quick too, just because it's in my head. How fun is that diorama die? So I don't want you to miss out on some of these dies. So take a look at the die section and then give a real close look at this one. Okay, there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to explain it. This one cuts your, it's just a rectangle, and you may think, well, I could easily notch this on my own with a circle punch, and yes, you can. It also has this little hole that it makes, and it lines it up perfectly. So yes, you can get away with not having this, but this makes it so simple. It's crazy how simple it is. It lines up with this one, which also has a hole. It's perfectly lined up. You can knock a ton of these out in seconds. Seriously, I've made so many. And then the other part that is super great is there are 4 possible windows. So let me show you those. Okay, and these are great too. Now they don't cut out this little notch here, but that's how you know where to line up the window on your cut piece. So you're going to line it up like so. And it's just so easy. So you can just line up this one, you can line up this one, and you know where it is in line. Now of course you can turn it, but then you've got the distance perfect. There's no thought. You don't have to get out a ruler. You're not going to make a mistake. You're just going to go with it and have fun. They even give you this that you can layer on top, so you can have like a little fun little scallop around your window if you wanted to. And then the accents here are fantastic. So you've got little arrow dies that you can choose to add to your background so people can know what you want them to do. You want them to spin the wheel. There's also, these are just stitched arrows that go right in there, or there's cutout arrows that you can glue on. Then there's some fun clouds, stars, hearts, and a little banner, little circles. Just very well thought out and very fun. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of Give It a Whirl cards. We're going to make one together, but I'm going to show you a bunch, and then I'm going to make the other ones throughout the week. Now I'm leaving for vacation in 4 or 5 days, so what day is today? 5 days, so I might not make very many. Now this one, I was just playing with the idea, and to the guy that wears many hats, and I live in the Chicago area, and my mom's side of the family has always been huge Cubs fans, but my dad's side of the family actually is from Southern Illinois, and they're more of Cardinals. But then my brother and my dad too, just because we live kind of close to the city, they go to all the games. They don't care. Sox, Cubs, mainly Cubs fans, I have to say. But anyway, so I did this. Now, I didn't glue this down well, so I'm going to help it along. So look, you're going to turn it, and now you're a Cardinals fan, and now you're a Cubs fan. So you can do stuff like that. Okay, so then on the inside it says, I'm your #1 fan. So that's really fun. That's one version. This one cracks me up. It's from the senior year. Oh, this stamp set, by the way, this die is called Hats Off. Hat Builder, and the stamp set's called Hats Off. Okay, this one is from the senior year's stamp set, and this one's really funny. You've got an image, you've got an older lady, or you can, and you don't have to make it gray hair, you can make it a younger lady with some regular colored hair. And there's also a man, so you can do a woman or a man, and it says, it feels like we've been friends forever, which is weird because we're both about 29, right? Isn't that cute? And then happy birthday. So it's just a fun little, thing. And I just was going through the catalog and I thought, well, I bet I can make a card with this one. So here's another one. Oops, I gave it away with that banana. The older you get, the better you get, unless you're a banana. And then you've got, now here I went kind of wrong. I think it's more natural to go down with the spinner. And when I was making the card, I accidentally, it says happy birthday, I accidentally did them in the wrong order. I would have liked the banana to come directly after that. So then I made this banana kind of rotten. Silly, right? And then I thought, well, do you need to use stamps? So here I've got a potted plant, and then I just made sure that you could put, now here's again, you got to make sure you glue that one down really well. And then you've got a potted plant, and different plants go in the pot. So if you got a friend who loves plants. So it's just a fun little, and here's a plant on the inside. So just a silly little thing. And then, of course, this one was really easy. I love you more than, and there's, coffee, cookies, and chocolate, all of my favorite things. There's also cocktails on this stamp set, so then I didn't do the inside on that one. But that's fun. I wanted to show that you can do it horizontal or vertical, portrait or not, landscape mode. Okay, and then this one was fun. Whoops, I wanted to start at the ouch. Something's going on with this giraffe, and then it says this is not good, and then it says hope things get better soon. So that was a really fun one. And then these hearts came in the Give It a Whirl die. This one here, you're the best, and it says thanks to you I grew up loved. You're the best. So this would be a good Father's Day. Here is some little puffins. Make a wish, and it's a puffin. He wants the dead fish. That's his wish. Happy birthday. You're the best. And then you could put a little puffin on the inside. And then here's another one I did. This is another one that doesn't, if you don't have word sayings, you have images, you can still make it work, because I've got a full dandelion here, and then it went to seed, and then the tufts are blowing away, and it says wishing you all the best. So play around with it, and I made a list, which I'm not going to read to you and you're not going to be able to read, but I was just flipping through the catalog and I thought, okay, I want to use this die, what will work? So I started writing down things as I was going, page 20, page 22, page 27, page 2. Like, wait a minute. Then it started to get kind of crazy where I was like putting something on almost every page because they're so easy to use. Like the what's cooking, you can have different things going on there. The sunshine can turn into a moon. You don't even have to use a window. So you could cut the cardstock here. You can still use the spinner and have something going round and round, but not even a window, have the whole thing open. And so there you can have, there's the farm animals, or there's a really cute thing in the Celebration catalog, which I can show you. It's sheep, and you can have them jumping over a fence because it comes with a fence. So just really cute things. The ideas are endless, and I've been going on, I'm sorry, for quite a long time because it really is fun. And I'm going to show you one of the ways to do it. So you're going to start with a card base. That's easy. And then you're going to decide what you want to cut out for your window. So I'm going to do this one just because I had this on my desk already. The last card I made was those puffins. So I'm going to do that. So you need this piece, and I chose to cut out this window. Okay, and then I need the circle. Now, when you cut out the circle, let me show you the die. It kind of, the grooves from this, depending upon how tight your machine is, sort of show up in the die a little bit, in the paper, barely there. But I like that because then you know how much space, and I think probably they did it on purpose, or maybe not, but it's just makes it a no-brainer. So you know what 3 sections you need for this window. And even if you're using the circle, you know that it needs to go in the center of, and I don't think on video you can see it, but it's just this lines. I can see them pretty easily, but maybe it's not translating. So anyway, it tells you where to stamp. Okay. So I'm going to do the puffins, like I said, and I did a couple of them because I kept making errors, which happens. Like on this one, let's see. Happy birthday, you're the best, make a wish. I guess that's not bad. I meant to do the make a wish and then the you're the best, and then happy birthday last. And then I decided, well, what if I wanted the happy birthday to be on the inside, because now I don't have anything for the inside. So then I decided to change it, and I did make a wish, and then I've got a whole bunch of fish. They're wishing for fish, and then I put a little puffin on the inside. So I mean, there's so many ways to do it. And then I thought, can I do that horizontally? And this one says, make a wish, and I put a candle. And here's some fish again. And then it says, to someone who makes others happy. And there's a little puffin on the inside. So there's enough things here that you can just do whatever you want. You could put a fish in the window, candles, cake, the little tiny puffin peeking out. And there's enough sayings that you can kind of play around with it and customize it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do make a wish. Okay, and then I think, now remember when you're turning it, you want to put it down. So I'm going to put this one up top. I have to kind of do that, otherwise I'll make a mistake. So I'm going to do that. And then what do I want the next one to be after the wish? I think I'm going to do the little fish again because I think they're cute. And you can do 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I didn't grade on that one. And then turn it. What am I going to put here? I think I'm going to do the you're the best, because it's easy. Okay, so now I'm going to color my little fishies, and I'm using colors right out of this paper. I should tell you about this paper. This paper is it's a host paper. That means you can only get this with a qualifying order of $150 or more, unless you're one of my punch card stamp campers. You can get it then. Otherwise, you need to think about when you're going to get a host set. Do you want to get stamps or paper? This paper is awesome, and it's huge. It's not 12 sheets. It's like, I don't know how many sheets. Let's see. 48 sheets of paper, and they're fabulous patterns and colors. So think about that as a host set. It's a nice pack of paper. So I'm going to make my fish green. I don't know why, because the paper's green. No accent there. This is my dark. I meant to go with the light. Alright, so I'm doing tops of my fishes. And then I'm going to do bottoms of my fishes. Blue. How did I forget a fish? Okay, and then I'm going to do the bows. Now I'm using my Stampin' Blend markers. You can use your Stampin' Write markers too that are not alcohol based. These images are so small that the blending and the colors and all that aren't as important to me anyway. Alright, and one more. Let's do a blue one. Oh, because the fish is blue. Alright, let's do a pink one. So then I'm going to show you how to do this horizontally as well. Alright, so we've got our images, and all you need to do is then grab a brad. And you're going to pop it right through like this. And you're going to, now oops, fell out because I didn't hold on to it. Alright, so I don't want this to be super tight because you want it to spin. So what I do is I grab, something. I have a little pin here, and I put it kind of next to the little, what do you call it, flange, flap, something. And that way it's not super tight. And that way you've got an easy spin. You don't want them struggling. You don't want the recipient to have to really struggle with that. Okay, and now when you want to put it down onto your base, you're going to want to give it a little more room, even more. So you want to adhere it with dimensionals. Just gives it a little more space. So I'm going to go in the top corners and the bottom corners of the spinner, just so it has a little bit of lift from its background there. Okay. Hopefully this background paper is not too distracting. So you can see I'm using some dimensionals. And then you're just going to go ahead and place it. Now if you wanted to use a ribbon on here like I did on, here's my other one. I wanted to kind of disguise I decided not to use the whole paper on this one, and so that it only went halfway, and I wanted to disguise that line, so I put a ribbon. So now you would do that. You would put it right through here before you would stick it down. Okay, so I've stuck it down, and now we just need to decorate our front. I'm going to use some more of those cute little puffins, and I really like this one. He's kind of dancing. He's excited about whatever he's got, and I think it's the cake. All right. And again, I'm going to color it just choosing colors right out of this fun paper. So I've got a pool party. I'm going to do the plate. And a little puffin. I'm going to do my flames and the little part of the puffin's beak in Daffodil Delight. And then I'm going to bring in pumpkin pie and do the other part of his beak. I looked up puffins. This kind of seems to work. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pumpkin pie to the center of the flame and do his feet. Okay. Alright, let's see. I'm going to do the cake. I think I'll do it in pale papaya, which is right here. So I'm just picking colors right out of that paper. And we've got some flirty flamingo in there. What color did I miss? Granny apple green. Alright, Now this die here is not from the Give It a Whirl set. This is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. That's another one of those essentials in my opinion, and I love it. And so I've got that one cut out, and then I added a piece of basic white at 2 1/8 by 3 3/4. I'm out of dimensionals, so I tend to use up my little side pieces here. And then I'll open another pack for the horizontal version. Okay, so this little puffin is going to go down right here. Now, this is a spinner card, so you don't have to hide the brad unless you want to. So you can decide, do you want to hide that brad? Does that brad bother you? I kind of don't think it bothers me. This is a spinner. We know it's a spinner, but there's ways you can hide the brad. On this one, I used a ribbon, hid the brad nicely. On this one, I used stars, and the stars come in the die set, so that was simple. And I didn't want to put it right smack dab in the center, so I kind of did it slightly to the side, and only one little arm is hiding the brad. So you can decide how you want to hide the brad, or if you want to just leave it as is. I think it's fine to leave it as it's a spinner, and I think that, you know, part of that is the idea of the brad. So, and that kind of helps the person who gets it know, oh, I'm supposed to move something, something's going to happen, you know. So decide on how much you want to do there. I want to leave it blank just so that you have that option. I don't want people to think they have to go crazy making a card, although I tend to do that. I already stamped the inside of this one because I actually stamped it for the horizontal version, but I stamped it as if it was for the vertical one, so I'm going to use it. I don't like it though because I got a cake on the inside and the outside, but it has a different puffin, so that's okay. Alright, so here are some different ones. Now I want to show you how to customize it and turn it on its side, because you don't really, I mean you could, if you turn it on its side, the spinner's at the bottom, which is not bad, and you can even make sure that this is up, because remember, you know where the hole is, right? And all you have to do then is add your pieces and line up that hole here. So you can put that at the bottom, and you can turn this little, your window can be up here, it can be off to this, it can be anywhere. You can do 4 windows all on one side. I mean, you could do anything. You can have 2 windows, however you want to make it work. So I wanted it just to be horizontal with the window up here. So I flipped it, and like this. And I like it better when the thumb, the little twisty, the spinner part for the interactive area for the recipient is on the side. I think it's awkward to do it underneath, although it's perfectly acceptable. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was better on the side. So I want to show you how to flip it on the side. So I'm starting again with a base, and I also have the spinner part is the same. Everything is the same so far. Now we're going to change up this part, and I want to show you how to do that. Okay, so the piece has stitching around it. So if you just simply cut it out like this, so I've cut a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 cardstock. You can use pattern, but I just decided that I would do it with solid so that the stripes didn't distract you. So you're going to have to make sure that the spinner mechanism has space, right? And that's fine. So don't put this in the center, or you know, up here, down there. You want it to be as low as it can. But if I cut it like this, then I'd have stitching only halfway. I'd get some stitching, you know. So I decided if you just go under the stitching just a tiny bit and eliminate the stitching on the top, so just push it just ever so slightly down. And you can do the same thing if you want to eliminate the stitching on the side because you don't have any on the other side. You can do that. Just go right on the inside. So line up your, if you need a little washi tape, you can use it, and just put it so that your cardstock is just to the inside of that stitching. And then when you run it through your Big Shot or your stamp cut and emboss machine, whatever you've got, just make sure you don't go all the way across. You want to clear the circle, and you want to clear the notch, but you don't want to go all the way back here because then you're going to get stitching again. So Here's my big one here. Okay, and I'm going to put it through, and I'm going to make sure that I cleared the top because I don't want stitching. I'm going to throw some washi on it. Okay, now I'm going to turn that over and make sure I like it. Okay. So now I'm going to kind of keep an eye on it. You can do a couple of things. You can put this on here and just crank it to where you kind of feel like it, you just see the circle disappear under the rollers, or you can even move your plate up so that it's only got, it won't get the pressure over here because you didn't put it there. So you can do it either way. And you're going to just spin this until you get that center. And that is it. So then we can go back, and then you've got your notch and your hole, and that's all you need. Decide what window you want to use. Do you want to use a circle? Do you want to use the wedge? I like the wedge because it actually fits the most things. But I think I used all of them so far. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one now. So now you're going to line up the circle. So you're going to make sure you can see through that circle, little hole there, and make sure that's lined up how you want it. And again, you can put it anywhere. I want it straight up. So that's what I'm doing. And then you're going to run it through again like that. Okay, so now I have the base of my card. This, from here on out, it's simple. Now you can dress up. I did do a couple things I wanted to show you. So I wanted that on this one. So you can kind of hold it here and add your notch. Now you can also just cut it with some scissors. You can just cut that area out, but I wanted that stitching to follow through because I like it. I like all that little stitching detail, don't you? And a lot of stamps and a lot of dies, I mean, have that stitch detail, and it's so cute. Oops, I went the wrong one. I want that to go through first. Again, you want to line that up. Okay. Now this time I'm going to use Bunches of Fun just to change things up, but otherwise it's the same. You're going to take your base of Stitch So Sweetly, and I have this little piece of 2 1/8 by 3 1/4 white, and that's where I'm going to stamp this woman here. The dog is super cute too. Okay, so we're going to stamp the lady. I used all my blocks. Okay. So I think she's really fun. And we're gonna, oh wait. I forgot, when I go this way I use a different die. So I'm trying to have so many ideas in my head. Sorry about that. Pause. Okay, I forgot that I cut a smaller version for her than the puffins. And that's because when you go horizontal, there's not as much space here. And, or at least it's not as wide as you want it. And you'll cover some of your words. So you can do it depending upon what words you want to use. Like for example, this one covers that corner of the window and I decided that I didn't care. But on this one, the words barely make it in the window, so I wanted to make sure that I don't cover that corner. So let's do her again. So depending upon what words you use, actually, you can make it work. Okay, so there she is, and I'm going to color her based on the image again. Let's see. I'm going to do brown hair, like my sister. So this is soft suede. My sister has kind of brown, darker brown hair, but she also has little highlights, and I don't know that it has to be perfect. So I'm going to add a little bit of dark in there. She's got some darker bits, and then I'll blend it out again. Okay, so for the window on this one, I am going to choose some words here. Oh wait, I'm going to choose, I'm combining. So, sorry that I'm a little scattered today. I have so much going on because I'm trying to pack for vacation, and I have a stamp camp in 2 days that I'm trying to figure out what we're going to make. And I know I want to use these dies, but what with these dies? There's so many fun things. So, my sister's birthday. I'm going to focus on that for now. I'm going to do happy birthday on one. Let's see, I'm going to do, I want to do, is it hot in here or is it just the candles on your cake? But I'm going to do this. It feels like we, okay, because we're, I'm going to do those. Okay. Now another way to add these words, if you want to make sure you've got them right, because these are longer, is cut yourself a template with a post-it note. See how I did that with the puffin? Because if you stamp through the window, you might accidentally get a little bit of ink on the outside of your window, and then you'd be devastated, right? Okay, so it feels like we've been friends forever, and then we're going to turn this way. Doing that motion really helps me know that I'm doing it the right way. Okay, and again, this one goes all the way to the edge, so I'm going to make myself, I'm going to line this up where the indent is. See how it just fits there? So if I had done it through the window, and what if I was slightly off and I would have got some ink there, I would have been aggravated. Okay. Hopefully you're not aggravated because my video is a little disjointed today. Okay. Happy birthday. There. Okay. So I combined the senior years stamp set with the bunches of fun stamp set. The senior years one has some really fun sayings. So does this one. I love this one, bunches of fun. And hey, if you know the spelling error in the catalog on the page with the bunches of fun, let me know. Maybe I'll send you the bunches of fun card, huh? Let's see. I want to find the one I made. Where did I put it? I have so many cards on my desk right now. Okay, so that one's cute, and I could have done this one with the banana too. So many choices. I love that rotten banana. All right, I can't decide which one my sister's going to get. My sister and I are only 11 months apart. She's older, so I like to always, you know, it didn't used to matter. In fact, when we were littler, I wished I was the older one. And then, you know, as we get older, now I'm glad she's the older one. Okay, so I'm going to put this down with the spinner. This little step of putting the pin here to flap out your brads is not super necessary, but I want it to have an easy spin. Okay, where's my base? Okay, that's fun. Before pressing this down fully, I'm going to throw a ribbon behind. Now I want it over the wheel. So that my wheel can still turn. If I put it under the wheel, I would have been blocking it, right? So I've got it over the wheel. Alright, so this one, the bow kind of hides the brad, although I don't know that you need to hide it again, I'm just saying. And I'm going to use a glue dot to kind of keep it where I want it. There we go. And then I'm going to put her right there. Okay, if you hung in with me, thank you. I feel like my video is a little disjointed, but there was so much to show, and I have so much going on. I have stamp camp this weekend, which I haven't had a stamp camp. I did a card buffet, which I find easier. I haven't had a stamp camp in over a year, since last January or February of 2019. So I'm doing my first one this weekend, so I'm a little bit freaked out about that. And look how fun that is. It's so fun, you guys. I hope that you'll try out the Give It a Whirl dies. They're so fun. All right, here's the puffins. Woo! And that one's the same as this. And then we've got bananas and the old lady and the house plants, just for fun. And then this one is a fun one too. Now I want to point out this one has that arrow cut out, and before I have you go, the arrow cutout is, here it is. Oh my goodness, stuff everywhere. It's this one here. So I used it on this one, and then I had an extra one there. See, because you get two arrows on one, so I shoved it over there for later use. There's also, though, three of these. Now these, you would have to then go through your base layer, the bottom layer, and you'd put it where the notch is, and then it would give a stitched arrow detail. So it would be like just stitching in the shape of an arrow underneath. And I opted to not do that, and that's because Stamp Camp is already got enough going on. So adding another thing for people to die, I decided not to. But if you're doing it at home by yourself, that's a really cute detail. It's there's 3 different ones, and you can do them on the wheel if you wanted to, and then you have to go all the way around. Or you can do it on the base, which is what I would recommend, because it's less going on there. And there's 3 of them. See? So simple and easy to use. All right, now I really don't know how those are going to go back down. Okay, And here's that dandelion. So I'm going to do another video using some of these that are images, because like this one was trickier, I have to say, because you have to line up the image behind with the image there together, whereas with the ones I did here, these images are completely separate from each other. They don't have to line up at all, whereas on some of the ones you're going to have to line them up. So I did that one a little differently, and I'll show you how to do that. And then here's some other versions. So I hope that you'll take a look at the Give It a Whirl Dies, and I hope that my video was not too confusing. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.